sick anymore, Matt.
Ryan, you're not sick no more?
I'm not. Well, I mean, I'm coughing, but I'm still here.
Are you wheezing?
No.
Well, that's good.
I'm still breathing.
Zach, are you sick?
No.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good
answer,
Because
sir.
if you were, we would have to disown you, unfortunately. No sickness allowed on our show.
Really?
Are we not down with it?
What?
We are not down with the sickness, believe it or not.
We're not down with the sickness.
No. How was it? How was being sick?
Weird. It was crazy listening to you guys talk on the podcast because I didn't realize how thin our walls were, or well, my walls were until I was laying in bed, and every so often I would hear like a joke, and then I heard you say "Happy Birthday." I was just like, "Who's he talking about?" Like I was like, I like Googled like whose celebrity's birthday is it today, and it's like nobody's. And I'm like, what's going on? So it was weird to have.
Why did we say it?
Because
I forget.
So on the episode, Zach initiated everyone to say like at the same time, "Get well soon, Ryan."
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like my voice still sounds different, but you said you were like 3, 2, 1, then you went like "Happy Birthday." And like I said, there's a lot of weird stuff in that room over there. I just kept hearing.
Did you like the part of the beginning when we were making fun of you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I liked a lot of that episode.
Yeah, that's good.
As the views on YouTube show me, so did a lot of other people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, really? Did we have more views on YouTube?
I don't know do you guys check our YouTube?
No.
Oh my! Every so often I check it just because I listen to us on Spotify now.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like if I'm sitting in here doing something, I'll just put the YouTube video up because I already have YouTube open.
Yeah.
And boy, I was like looking through our catalog. We're getting like some good views on some of our stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing like, not like in the hundreds, but I think like not the last one, but 2 before that. So what episode is this? This is 87?
87.
So
Wow.
One of them has like 25 views on it, which is
That's a lot for our YouTube stuff.
right.
Yeah.
So like all of them are getting at least, I mean, they're getting pretty high. I think there's only one of them in like the last couple months that only has like 3 or 4 views.
Yeah.
But it looks like you have it up right now.
They all are around in the low singles.
Yeah. So I mean, to me it was pretty fast.
We don't really advertise our YouTube at all. We don't really advertise.
There
period.
was
Ryan, if we advertise, what would we be advertising?
this amazing pop culture show called Unboxing of Pop Culture.
Close enough. Who are you?
I'm Ryan.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
I forget what name we gave you because you're like another new hire, right?
He's Zach right now, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm Zach
Are
right
you
now.
Zach?
Who are you? I'm Matt.
Oh, okay,
Thanks
you're
for
not.
asking.
I'm not schizophrenic,
Guess
and
what
neither
we're
am I.
talking about this episode? We're pop
Schizophrenia?
culture unboxing, so
Yo,
it's a pretty short
can-
list.
Can I guess? Can I
Okay, you have
guess?
2 guesses.
I bet it's Barney.
Close.
Oh, really?
One more guess left.
Spooderman,
Close.
Batman,
You-
Spider-Man.
You get to call. You get to call You get to call. You phone a friend. He gets 1 guess at what we're talking about. If he gets it right, you win.
I phoned a friend.
You phone a friend.
I phoned a friend. Okay.
You phone a friend, and if they get it right,
By the way, you know what we forgot?
no, they didn't.
Okay.
So, yeah, that'll be next week.
All right.
Good.
Phone
My-
a friend, Ryan.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey. What's
Sup?
up? What's up? No, I have a question for you because apparently I'm on Regis Philbin's How to Be Want to Be a Millionaire,
All right.
and
I don't think any of that was right, but okay.
what was the question again?
What are we talking about today?
You're supposed to ask the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What are we talking about
He's
today?
on the line. Go ahead and.
We're-
His name is Zach. By the way.
Zach, hello. Your friend Ryan here was
Dun,
close on
dun,
several guesses
dun,
of what we're going to be
dun,
talking about today,
dun,
knowing
dun.
what Pop Culture Unboxing has to talk about. You have one
Bum,
chance to guess
bum,
correctly what
bum,
Pop Culture Unboxing
bum.
will be talking about today.
30 seconds of the clock.
All right.
Tick.
I thought I was the
tick,
host.
Tick.
Imagine the contestants sitting there.
Tick. Jesus. Okay. What are we talking about today?
I'm going to go with Richard and Mortimer.
Wrong.
We really could though. I just watched the
Kind.
newest episode.
We could.
No, I don't want to.
I don't either.
It's pretty
No
disgusting.
offense.
Pretty disgusting.
I think that
You
is exactly
both
why
lost.
it should
You
be
don't
talked
get
about.
$1 million. I'm sorry to say.
Wait, can
The
I have
answer-
another guess?
No, you're
Please?
We can ask.
It's my birthday.
Fine.
We're gonna talk about
I'm gonna give you a hint.
Loki
Okay, sure. You did nail it.
and the wicked dragon.
I would have let you get away with Marvel, but very good. Ryan wins.
Hooray!
Yay!
You'll be paid.
Crowd
in
goes wild.
Pop culture unboxing stock.
I thoroughly enjoy
Ooh.
how much you managed to reference. I think Wheel of Fortune, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I think Jeopardy all at once.
I know. I'm really good at this. That sickness really killed Ryan.
In
and
case
brought
you
back
don't know, you referenced Regis Philborn.
Regis Philbin.
I don't think it's
Philbin.
Philman.
It's
Philbin.
Philbin.
Is it Philman?
It is.
Philborn. Regis Philborn.
Philbin. It's Philbin.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Regis Philbin.
Regis Philbin.
That's not how you pronounce it.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's Regis Philbin.
Agree to disagree.
No, I'm gonna look
Agree to
it up.
disagree. But then you also said Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is Howie Mandel.
Are you? You're playing a joke.
No,
right? This is a
How,
joke.
Howie Mandel is
He's the box
it's the cases one.
He's the cases one.
Isn't that Who Wants to Be a
Deal or
Millionaire?
No
Deal or no deal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you playing a joke? Is that a prank?
What is going on here?
There's a lot I couldn't handle. I was just like, you're not that dumb.
I hope our listeners enjoy listening to us just like
I literally
riff.
about looked up Regis Philbin and Kelly so you could hear him say his name.
What's the point of her, by the way? On Wheel of Fortune.
She's not on Wheel of Fortune. She's
I-
on the show
I-
Regis and Kelly.
I get that. But I mean, on Wheel of Fortune, what's the point of Vanna White?
She's
touch
not
this-
on it. It's just Regis Philbin on.
No, Wheel of Fortune.
He's talking about Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, I don't watch Wheel of Fortune.
It's the one where she walks up to the...
And she
every time they
touches the
get letters,
screen.
she touches the screens.
That's not the
But, like,
same woman.
It used... I know, it's Vanna White.
Oh.
We're on a different topic now, but it's still game shows. I know that you back in the day she used to walk to flip them over because they were like placards or something like that.
Because they're all touchscreen now.
It's tradition.
But why do you need her to touch like their touchscreen? Someone in the back is changing them. She's not doing
Because
anything.
we need people to come watch a pretty model
I know
touch
that.
screens.
I know that's
Listen.
the real answer, but I thought
Listen.
we were in a generation of not objectifying women.
In
Not only when it matters.
Oh,
you know what? I'm going to give them the
She's
best
not
argument
famous.
possible.
Nobody cares.
she's Vanna White.
We're not getting
People
rid of a
still
job.
don't care.
She is. I bet you anything. If you asked random people on the street, more people would know who Vanna White is than
Not millennials that are the people that actually care.
millennials. Don't vote.
Yeah, but
So
they're
who
again,
cares?
you're right. But they're the ones that are very vocal on Twitter.
Which is sad because I think too many of them do.
Vocal on Twitter or vote?
Or vote.
I feel like we're going down a dangerous road right
Keep
now.
going. Let's just go somewhere else. Take me
All
somewhere
right,
else.
Ryan, we're at a
Jack.
fork in the road, and you get to decide where we go.
All right, what are my options?
But they both come back to the same place. so.
What are both roads? What do they say? What's
Your
the
one
sign?
road is just go straight down Loki, or we take a little detour for you to talk about Black Widow and then get merge back onto Loki.
Let's just go Black Widow side, just because it's
Go for it.
more to talk about. So you guys didn't watch it, but I did.
I did not. I
Because
saw a trailer.
to be
like a year
fair,
ago.
I want to be fair. Yeah, to be fair, I was really sick this weekend, so it was really
Yeah, we know.
we were unable to really go and watch the film in theaters. So I was just like, yeah, I'll spend $30. Let's go.
Which is
Disney.
fine because I just didn't want to leave the house.
So anyway, I watched it. Here's the consensus that I think a lot of people agree with. This film is way too late.
Yeah. When was this supposed to come out? Over a year ago, right?
Right.
Like last May?
right. Well, even then, the film would have been way too late.
Yeah.
My problem with the film right now is so it takes place right after Civil War happens. Sorry, I was trying. This thing was like wobbling.
Yeah.
So I was trying to fix the mic. But it takes place like right after Civil War. In fact, how it opens up. Spoilers to just the opening. I won't spoil the rest of it. But how like the first 5 minutes of the film, it opens up with her in like a bathroom and General Ross is calling her.
Actually, put a pin in this. Just for everyone listening, if you haven't watched Black Widow and you haven't watched Loki, you should go do that because this whole episode is going to be full of spoilers for those.
Oh, am I allowed to spoil both?
Go for it.
I mean,
Cool.
that's kind of the point. Is
Yeah.
like we do analysis
If
on
you
things.
really want
you
to,
can't
if you
not
really don't
spoil
want
it.
them spoiled, Disney Plus, pay extra money for Black Widow, if you want. But like Ryan said, it's a little late for the movie, so who cares? Now keep going.
So listen, I'm gonna say it right now. If you have an option, if you really need to see Black Widow, but you have an option, go see it in theaters where it'll be cheaper instead of spending $35 for just yourself.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry about that. The film, I'm not gonna say it's terrible because it's not terrible. It was pretty okay. The problem is, so Taskmaster himself, the big bad who you think it's gonna be, is not the big bad. In fact, she is only in it for, I think, probably 10 minutes. A cool fight scene in the beginning and a mediocre fight scene at the end. But the big reveal. So like what this whole thing is like, Melania, I can't remember what her name is now.
Milani.
No, Melena, I think
Malignant?
is how you say it. It's her sister. The film.
Ryan or Zach like that word.
So the film is all about like.
The more you do that, the less likely I am to edit any of those out.
I'm sorry. Well, I can't help it. I don't know what.
It's okay.
The problem is, so I have what is supposedly a very like contagious cold, but no one I've been around has gotten it in the last 2 weeks. So
Yeah, you're so selfish that you keep the cold to yourself.
yeah, right. So the problem is like but the problem is now I'm past it, but all I have is this god awful cough, and it will not go away no matter what I do.
Yeah.
So
Have you
bear with me.
tried black tea with honey and sugar?
Yeah, I have. I've literally tried. I have cough drops. I've been like taking them like they're my drug of choice. But
Aren't they technically? They technically are a drug, though, aren't they?
I don't think
And
so.
you're choosing them.
Not really, because they're just hard candy with honey.
No, aren't- yeah.
honey in them, aren't they?
They got
No.
methanol.
Yeah.
Oh, do they have?
They do. They
Have meth in them?
No, it's usually isn't it like usually a numbing agent, a mild one.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's why you're supposed to let it dissolve, is so that it coats your throat.
Right. Anyway, so back to Black Widow. So the whole like thing is like, how the film really starts out is Dave Harbour. What's her name from The Mummy?
Oh, I know. I just recently saw her name too.
Well,
Is it the love interest from
the
the
love
Mummy?
interest from it? Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. I
black-
can't think of
Yeah,
her name.
I think everyone is picturing
Rachel
it, but
Weisz.
Yeah.
that's it.
They're like parents. So basically, what happened is they were Russian spies. They were sent over to America to get something, which later on in the film they show you what it is. It was basically the ability to control. It was to help create these Black Widows,
Okay.
and control these Black Widows. But they had two children over to play their family. By the way, David Harbour is actually pretty cool. Like a lot of his stuff is pretty cool because he's just like this. He's the Russian Captain America, but it's interesting because there is like a dynamic with him where it's where I call it. I was like, that's actually kind of smart. So here, like in America, like we treated Captain America as like what he was. He was a super soldier and he was there to protect our troops. Where Russians going in the Soviet Union, because he was not like everyone else and no one could potentially be anything like him. The moment that they didn't need him, they put him in prison. So it's like and this I may be reaching a little bit.
Wow, that's accurate.
That's where I was like, I drew the line. Is like, so he is the Captain America of Russia, but in the case of the Soviet Union, but in the case of what happened with him is where Captain America, we put him on a pedestal and kept him as the hero, and he was everything that was right about.
He was the ideal.
He was the ideal of America at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Alexei was the ideal of the Communist Party at the time when he was created, and like his whole dynamic of building up.
Wait, then here's the whole thing: is that if that had come out when it was supposed to, then what was his name in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the older super soldier guy?
Jack Daniels?
I can't remember what his name is now.
That then recontextualizes his whole reveal to Falcon.
Well,
in that the Americans did the same thing to all their super soldiers except for Captain America.
Right. So, but there is a funny acknowledgement in this to that character with Alexei. So, because Captain America was on ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there had to be a replacement super soldier. So, the Red Guardian is who his superhero name, if you want to call him. But he's in prison, and at one point, how they first acknowledge him in prison, he's telling a story about how he fought Captain America in the Vietnam War. So one guy says, like, well, that's a lie. Captain America was on ice, and he says, "Are you calling me a liar?" So the implication is like the Russian Communist Party, he was a liar, a cheat, and where the other talk is like there was a super soldier in Vietnam, as we know.
Yeah.
So it could be that there was a Captain America in Vietnam, but it was secret, and Alexis actually did fight Captain America in Vietnam. It's a strange.
But the problem with that is that you would think that.
But that's the thing.
The American government would be using that as propaganda.
Also, again, I am reaching because some of this might not be very accurate to what I'm reaching. I could be potentially reaching because I like to see the smart side of what Marvel when people write characters.
You want to give them the best argument.
So, and that's what I had depicted out of when I saw Alexis is like he is what represented the American ideal of what communism was and what communism actually was as the Red Guardian, where Captain America was pretty much like the human embodiment of America, where Alexis is the human embodiment of the Soviet Union, Russia.
Well, that would be really interesting because I think my favorite part about Captain America is that he is the ideal of America.
Yeah.
And it's to say that like the principles and values are correct. And that's kind of the thing where if you do that the same thing with communism and you look at communism historically, that makes total sense with communism. They're liars. They're aiming for something that can't be attained.
So that was the cool stuff with the Red Guardian, but there's a problem with the Red Guardian that I'm going to get to.
Alcoholism?
Well, no.
No, that's me.
The thing is, like, that typical joke of vodka.
Is that
stuff,
how you tell us that you're the Red Guardian?
How we find the Red Guardian is he's doing arm wrestling matches with all of the people within like the Russian prison, and he's getting a tattoo on his back of himself. That's like,
oh my god,
that's what he's doing. But like,
is he me?
At one point, when Natasha saves him from prison, he asks her, is like, did Captain America ever talk about me? Because like his ideal is like where the Russians want to be like want to be a power like the Russians. That's again, this is where at some point I might be reaching a bit, but that's how I took it as like this Russian Soviet Union super soldier always is trying to be better or at least a worthy adversary to the United States. You know what I mean? To like, I don't know. Like I said, I've also been reading a lot and watching a lot of like old stuff of the Soviet Union.
Wait, how
of the
old
Cold
is he?
War. They don't make it clear, but if Natasha is like in her late 20s, so he's probably in his 40s, 50s. Because he's got like white. He's like
what is that?
older
It takes
man.
place in what, 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
Doesn't line up.
That's going to be difficult.
For him to have
The
become
fall
a
of the
super soldier
USSR.
and fighting in Vietnam.
They don't. I don't know what his age, but that's the point. Is like he also lies a lot, so you never know when he's telling the truth. So one of the things with, so that's. But I do like his character. But where the problem comes in, and I don't want to fault the movie because I don't know if this was intentional, but it's really nowadays hard not to see it as intentional. He is the only man in the group, and he's constantly an idiot. He never does anything that is remotely right, or he doesn't. Let me put it this way: if you took him out, the film literally does not change except for one small scene.
So, kind of funny actually. David Harbour was born 20 days before the Vietnam War ended.
Oh, really?
Yes. He was born April 10th, 1975. Vietnam War ended April 30th, 1975.
Wow. So, yeah. So, great. Again, he's a great character, and he's funny. And him and one of his daughters, Milena, I think is how you say it. Really good dynamic. In fact, one of her things, because she was the youngest little girl during the time when they left America because they finished the mission and they had to escape. So like there's a whole cool beginning scene where they escape and everything like that. There's a cool dynamic where she loved the song Bye Bye American Pie. And he sings it to her and she like, oh, he did love me as a dad. Because
Who sings American Pie? Pop quiz.
I don't remember.
Zach's grabbing for it.
I remember listening to it as a kid. I cannot
Starts
think
with
of
a
her
D.
name.
Bye, Miss America. Bye.
Don McLean.
All right. Well, look, I
Killing me.
gotta be quick because we got to talk about Loki. Too.
Yeah, we do.
So basically, where I
Zach,
don't.
feel free to ask questions, by the way, because I realize I haven't watched Black Widow, but you're the only one who hasn't watched Loki. So stop us when you have questions.
So basically, where I say I don't like Dave Harbour's character is because, like, again, he is never he is a super soldier. They see him lift cars at one point, and he's never used in that ability. He's just there to be an idiot. He's not even like the comically helpful character where like he feels like he should be there. If he was gone, that team would still get the mission done. And if anything, it wouldn't. And this is where I have the problem is like that's the part where it's like he was written that way just to be like women are better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, whatever.
It's the trend of like making him look weak so that they look better.
Again,
Yeah.
whatever.
Instead of making them look good on their own right.
Again, whatever. That's what they did. But all of the film, as far as what the film is, where I said the film is too late is one, I know Black Widow's not going to die. There's no consequence for her. The only consequence would be for the other characters.
Everyone else.
Which they're not the front and center.
So did they not build them up to be
They all
worthy?
well, the thing is, where you would assume is they all die because, again, Endgame happened, and they're nowhere to be found. They're not even mentioned in Endgame. And when Black Widow does mention them in Endgame, she says they were as if they're dead. None of them die. They're all alive.
Well,
there is no consequence to this.
What if we find out that they all died, like just died of natural causes between the events of Black Widow and Endgame, and they had like a nice tasteful funeral, and Black Widow had her mourning period?
It would be. I think the thing with Black Widow
there's another problem with that. They show her headstone, but
I was gonna say the thing with Black Widow is that even though she realized that liberty and freedom is correct and that she should give up the Soviet ideals,
The Soviet Union was gone before she would have been born.
that doesn't mean that she shouldn't go for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the hard thing. The farther away you get from the Soviet Union, the harder it is to have that character true to their
The Soviet Union
setup.
fell in what, the early 80s, right?
well, the thing is with her, she's already going against like what the Russians are, because there is like the part of the MCU that they're doing here is the idea that there is a portion of the evil Russians that still exists.
Oh, so you mean like Putin's regime?
Yeah, sort of.
So just one thing. There is a really funny meme about how Putin's elected for 4 years at a time.
1991.
And the Pope is elected for life, and Putin has met 4 popes.
Oh wow. There's a lot to take in.
Well, but
anyway, but again, I gotta get to
there's
Loki.
more nuance in that.
I gotta
but
get
that's-
to, I
it's
gotta
a
get to
funny
Loki.
joke.
The other part that I don't like, and this is why if this film would have came out, I think that the end credit scene would have been probably more impactful. But we show her they're at Black Widow's grave, and it's Melena's at her grave, and do you remember the girl with blonde or the black and purple hair woman?
yeah,
She's in it, and she's recruiting
from Seinfeld,
Yeah, she's recruiting Melena
the Dark Avengers,
to be a part of what is going to be the
the
Dark
like
Avengers.
negative the Neg Avengers.
Right.
The Neg Avengers.
Right. So again, this is kind of a bad review, but what I can tell you about the film is like the film is too late just because there's no reason to watch it other than the fact like it is the only solo Black Widow movie we're ever going to get.
Well,
unless you take what happened at the end of Loki, and this is where I'm a little worried.
But and here's the thing is that the other thing that it has going against it is it doesn't really build up much for the future of Marvel, whereas Loki did.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Loki as a whole?
I feel like we should let you say that first.
No, because I'm gonna have I feel like I might have more to say on this.
I think it has major implications for the MCU going forward.
Yeah, very good, solid. See how far you can get with that.
For those of you that don't know, I didn't watch a single episode.
So yeah, it does. It does. See, okay. This is why I watched it this morning and gave myself plenty of time to think about it. as far as where Loki is, man,
Spoilers, by the way.
this is
just
how,
a reminder.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think we had this talk when we were talking about me and you in private when we were on Discord the one day.
Yeah.
Because I think the highs of the Marvel MCU has happened. I was I was so underwhelmed by the end of Loki, and I think what it is because what they're doing with it is almost what I expected them to do, and I'm so used to Marvel not always blowing me away with surprising me. If anything, what I'm really surprised about when it came to the end of Loki is the fact that this is the only series I think it's getting a season 2.
Yeah, it is. Well, other than I think on Twitter they said something about it yesterday, but what people read into is the fact that the banner on Disney Plus for WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier said series finale, but Loki said season finale.
Right. Here's what I can completely say, and this is how I feel right now. And this may change. I still think Loki is my favorite of the Disney Plus series.
I agree.
But WandaVision, Black Widow, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki so far have all had interesting starts, but have all been like, for me, I didn't feel anything at the end.
Okay.
I was like,
so why not at the end of Loki? Because I read the end of Loki as basically setting up the rest of the next phase of Marvel.
right. So this is what I told you in the thing, that because I've seen the trailers for this new multiverse show, the What If series, and what the implications of what looks like the What If series are going to be. I'm nervous because, one, Marvel is dipping its toes in something that can either be really successful, or it can, so it can either, in my opinion, it can either be okay and successful, or it can fail very miserably. And Loki, the way Loki ends, set me on the idea that is already, for me, is a sign that this could go bad already, because how Loki ends. Because let's just say this: after Sylvie stabs, if no one figured it out, it's Kang the Conqueror.
It's Immortus.
No, it's Kang the Conqueror.
No, it's not. I was reading about this. The one they were interacting with was a version of him, Nicholas something, or
right.
What is it? Nicholas?
I don't know.
I forget. He's a human.
Right.
And
it is the guy.
This version of him is called Immortus.
Right.
Who is the Kang, the version of Kang that keeps everything in check, and then when he dies, then things go crazy.
But again, it's Kang the Conqueror. That's what it is.
Yes.
I'm just saying, everyone is in a fight right now for what you just said to me. No, it's Kang the Conqueror. That's who it is. There's the only difference is different universe, but
okay.
This is where multiverse stuff gets crazy, because if you do that, if you acknowledge who these people are differently just by like, oh, this is by name who this person is, it's going to get real confusing.
Why?
That is Kang the Conqueror. It's an alternate version of Kang the Conqueror. That's
okay, so why, if he's alternate, which means he's effectively a different person because he has a different personality because of how he grew up, why wouldn't he be considered a different person? Just like Sylvie is a distinct person from Loki.
Right. Well, but that's the thing, is where, like, if Sylvie is technically Loki and Loki made out with himself, that's what it is.
Yeah, that tracks.
Again,
that's very Loki.
I'm just saying, like, you have, like, it can be very confusing, especially
at
when
the
you
end of the
talk about these
series, Loki made out with the female, an alternate reality version of himself that was female. But she prefers to go by Sylvie.
But listen.
But by your logic, then you should be saying, no, she's not Sylvie, she's Loki.
Well, that's what she is. That's why that's why I laugh at the joke when everyone's just like, if you saw the meme where, like, Thor fell in love with Lady Thor, Loki fell in love with Lady Loki, and then it's like a picture of Odin in his last breath, or last time we see him, and he says, "So are you?" Because they're all like down in the dumps when he's dying. If you haven't seen Ragnarok, and he says, like, "Are you guys the god of sadness?" gods of sadness, but in this is like, are you guys the gods of self-love? Like, it's a funny meme, but look, again, I don't want to drag out to that. Here's where I'm fearful, and this is where I'm fearful. How the ending of Loki ends up. Loki is now in an alternate reality where the TVA, Mobius, and what's her number? What's that?
You or Hunter something. I forget.
The Hunter lady. They don't know who he is now.
Yeah.
And here's where I'm a little worried. Here's what I don't like.
Okay.
The potential if we sometimes
you really are hitting the table a lot.
I'm sorry. Because here's what I've been thinking about. This multiverse stuff can be dangerous because if it makes lazy writing accidentally easier. And here's what I don't want season 2 to be. I don't want season 2 to be a whole retread of a new way of how he meets Mobius and becomes friends with Mobius.
Yeah.
I want the continuation of the Mobius we know, and I want to see how. And granted, I'm not saying I'm right. I could be wrong.
But the thing is, that plot line already resolved with them becoming friends, and when he hugs Loki, or Loki hugs him before they leave and don't see each other again until that point.
Right.
They're friends. The relationship has culminated at that point.
But the problem is when you have potential to do the same thing over and over again, it's only one variable difference. And where I'm worried is where people like it's the What If series. Mm-hmm. We're going to probably get a brand new alternate version of the Battle of New York, just in a different planet, maybe, with different characters. Yeah. But I want there to be a like. I'm afraid. I'm just afraid of what we're gonna do with multiverse stuff because you can do smart stories you can do Marvel multiverse.
This is exactly what I've brought up before, which is when you get into the multiverse, you get to a point where the stories you're telling don't have a real purpose.
That's what I'm worried about.
And when you don't really have a purpose behind the story, and the reason why I've said for a while now that I think that Marvel is done after Endgame, like I think their popularity is done. Because everything lined up to beating Thanos.
Right.
And now when you open up the multiverse, you can do some really cool, fun stories, but they're actually going to end up in this position where, which I think is harder to do, where you end up in this okay realm, where it's like, okay, that's the thing that happened. Like, okay, here's a movie. Like, it was a decent movie. But you don't end up in this polarizing world where it's like, okay, it's really good, or it really sucked.
And that's why for me it was bittersweet because where I thought the What If series was just going to be individual stories of just like you change one thing, but it's very clear after seeing the trailer for What If, at least the first season of What If is going to be different tales that all connect into one end game result. And I'm terrified of what that means because and this is also, again, why I say it's bittersweet, because I'm also excited because now they've basically revealed the next Thanos, which is going to be Kang the Conqueror, which is great. That's fantastic. But there's a caveat there. Is like now you basically told us like now we have the opportunity to do whatever we want. It's like, yeah, but what are you going to do with that?
Yeah. All right.
And I'm terrified of what the result is because.
But here's the thing. You keep saying that. You said fearful before. You just said terrified. I think the big difference between how you and I are looking at this is you're getting wrapped around the axle about things that haven't happened yet, like the writing and storytelling that they're going to do. Whereas I'm kind of taking it at the pace they're giving it,
right? And
I'm hopeful about what they're going to do. I'm looking at this being like, look, there's so many things they could do right here. You're looking at it and saying, here's what they could do wrong here.
Right, but I'm hopeful for what they will do right. And here's the thing. I bet they'll probably do it right.
But that's my issue, though, is that you didn't say any of that in this.
Because that's why I'm saying it's bittersweet. I'm telling you the bitter part. I'm getting to the sweet part.
Okay.
The bitter part is I'm worried what they're going to do with this. But the sweet part is, what are they going to do with this? Because there's potentially many good stories they're going to do.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just one. I don't want them to hide behind multiverse stuff. At least for the MCU, for me, it was kind of exciting because I knew there was going to be an end result. With a multiverse, the end could be freaking anything.
Yeah.
And that could be exciting, but also I'm the one who has to spend my hard-earned money on to watch this stuff. Like, you know.
No, I think that's
You know,
But
exactly.
you don't have to.
That's the thing. But if I want to, but like, I don't want to like go into a film not knowing it's not going to be good and then be like, oh, well, that sucked. It's the same with Black Widow. I spent $35 and I was like, ah.
I think that's exactly the problem. It's going to become a cop-out thing where
that's when
you're going to end up in this position where they're going to try things that they're not sure is going to work. And then if it doesn't work, they're going to say, well, that's not canonized.
I also have to be
and
realistic.
they're going to stay away from it.
Because I don't want to end up like I did with WandaVision, so freaking pumped and excited about how this is going. I was like, and then get disappointed. If I stay at a like, if I don't let my fandom and like the rose-colored glasses get in the way, then whatever happens can still be exciting for me. And I don't have to. And that's why I'm trying not to like analyze this Kang stuff. Or or every Easter egg anymore, because back when it was the MCU, it was fun because it's like, oh, I wonder what they're gonna do. Now I'm like, I would rather just be surprised.
Well, I was gonna bring that up is that you've really got your finger on the pulse of this. Like we keep making the jokes about the council and stuff like that,
right?
And it was something I kind of wanted to ask is like, because you had because I guess it was 6 weeks ago, you started talking about the theories, and I kind of shut you down. Because I was worried you were a little too close, and I didn't want to. I didn't really want it spoiled. How close were those theories that you had?
Very close.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so that's my thing. Though,
is
I tend to avoid those. Like I don't religiously avoid spoilers, but I avoid a lot of the speculation.
Right.
Because it's just I want to experience what I'm given. I don't want to build up expectations for something and then be given something. There's a phrase an old priest that was a friend of my dad's. You would say he said that anger is the result of unmet expectations.
Right. Oh, that's pretty good.
And so that's the thing.
Good.
So it's something I try to keep in mind is that I try not to set expectations other than it's Marvel, so I expect it to be good.
That's why I can't. I have to be smart. The only good, some of the cool. But here's the thing, and Marvel is. It's like Marvel knows that I'm thinking this because then I don't know if you guys saw, but Ryan Reynolds just gracefully dropped a Deadpool reacts to Free Guy trailer, and his co-host turns out to be Korg from
oh my god
Ragnarok.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, because Taika Waititi is the villain in Free Guy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
August. Which
everyth's coming out.
It's funny. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds makes the joke. It's just like, for how I'm ready to react to a trailer for a film, I was pretty sure it came out last year.
I am still 100% convinced that they need to keep Deadpool on the edges of the universe.
Right.
Because once they realize that they screwed it up, and like I mean this honestly, because like you're gonna get to a point where you mess it up. Once you get to a point where you messed it up and you realize it's done and it's time that it should be over, they just need to release a movie called The End.
Right.
And it's just Deadpool
kills the Marvel Universe.
Killing the Marvel Universe.
Which he does in the comic books.
And that is exactly how it should end.
Here's the one thing. I'm sorry. I just want to say this.
Okay.
The other thing that I want to do is now after, and I don't want to be so excited because one, I don't want to give Spider-Man No Way Home the free pass to have a Sinister Six movie and only get half the villains for it and just be like multiverse. So here's the other half. I don't want them to do that to me. I want them to earn all 6 of those villains. I want to see Kraven have his own film first, and I want to see Ock have his own film first.
I think it's a little late for that.
I want like 10 Spider-Man films.
Right, you're requesting this probably 10 years too late.
I know.
But here's my thing, and I feel like you've probably gone down this path too, is that Loki has just now set the stage for the next phase of Marvel.
Right.
I think what we're gonna see is in Spider-Man No Way Home, we're gonna see Strange and Peter learning that the multiverse has been reopened with the microcosm of Spider-Man's villains coming through, and they're gonna be like, wait, what's going on? And then near the end, Strange is like, oh my god, the whole multiverse is open. We've got to deal with this. And then Multiverse of Madness. I bet you anything. Multiverse of Madness is where the stakes are going to be set. We're going to meet Kang. We're going to find out what his goal is, or the multiple hymns' goal is, and how it will have to be stopped.
Well, we've already got that part confirmed. We know what was confirmed. Kang's not going to be like the real threat of Kang is not going to show up until Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, because he's the main villain of that film.
Okay. So maybe Doctor Strange is just learning more about him.
Right. I think what's going to happen is Doctor Strange is going to introduce all of the villains. So I think what this is a long game for them to bring in the X-Men and Fantastic Four.
That makes sense.
But
I hope it's not the Fantastic Four.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I hope they double down. But what you were saying about like Spider-Man is going to be like the start of what's going to happen. There's a theory that the Marvel Council,
the Council of
Nerds,
I love it.
We have the theory that at the end of WandaVision, when she hears her kids, and that is actually the moment Loki won. Like the ending of Loki ends.
Okay.
Like, the ending of Loki, and then that's when she hears the kids.
Okay.
And that's because the universe is all split into like 65 different paths. And
I think it's more than that.
yeah. But like, listen, fans of our show, I know I sound very. I bet nothing I've said has made any sense. But one, you need to remember, I'm a moron, and two,
I'm moron. I'm dad.
Yeah, and two, I'm trying to keep my expectations low because I know how I get. And this is going to end up being like after the first Avengers film, where all I'm going to do is religiously watch.
But try what I do. Just don't have expectations.
I can't. That's the problem. Because I love this stuff so much. I love, and I can't.
The thing
half of my hot toy collection is
here. We are back to the hot toys.
Is all is Marvel based stuff.
Well, I think the thing with Marvel is that the thing that makes it meaningful is that you have a problem that you're trying to solve, and all these people have to come together to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Whenever you open up a multiverse, you get to a point where some of those things are irrelevant. So like they all have to be relevant. So like maybe you open up the multiverse to close the multiverse again, which might make them all relevant.
I think that's how it's going to end.
Here's the thing. Keep in mind that he establishes that he didn't discover the multiverse until the 31st century.
Right.
On Earth. What that tells me right now is it's not easy to jump between multiverses. I think what we're going to see is we're only going to see very specific people able to do it. The Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and so maybe the villains come through in Spider-Man because of something Doctor Strange does.
I think it's going to be because of what Wanda does. Because Wanda's a Nexus being. It's set up that she's going to do something to try to get her kids back, and that's going to set up Spider-Man. Because what I think is going to happen, in my opinion, theory. See, my score for the end of Loki and everything is just gone up like 4 points, just because now I'm excited again.
Right?
But here's the thing. So here's what I think is going to happen: is Spider-Man's going to set. They're going to set Spider-Man up with like. Here's the perfect way I think it's going to go.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Right? He's revising this. I can see like the whiteout getting scribbled all over this page.
Far From Home is going to open up, and Peter's going to be on the run from like the police because everyone thinks he's killed Mysterio. Matthew Murdock from the Netflix series is going to just show up and be like, "I'm going to be his lawyer," and he's going to be like, "But we don't know Peter Parker's Spider-Man. It's all lies. Villains lie all the time. It's a scapegoat." And then what's going to happen is Doctor Strange is going to hide MJ, Ned, and Spider-Man in the Sanctum Sanctorum, which he's going to be like, "Don't go to the basement, Peter. Things are bad down there." And when he goes down to the basement, it's just a bunch of prison cells. And that's where all of the villains from Spider-Man, from all the other Spider-Man films are going to be there. And what's going to happen...
And for some reason, he's got like a closet door that just goes to the raft.
Right. Right. Well, so that's what's going to happen. The door is just going to say like, the raft. Like it's going to be like a giant neon sign that says raft. And that's just going to be in tiny bold print. Here you go, Ryan. Like, and that's going to point out to the raft just so that when I'm in the theater and I see it, I'm going to geek out a bit. And then we're going to see all these villains. And then for some reason, the door's going to open. And at the end of it, we're going to see Mobius and the Falcon dude, Birdman. What's Michael Keaton's character?
Morbius, not Mobius. That's going to get confusing.
Okay, well, Mobius.
Actually, now that I think about that.
We're going to see Mobius walk it out.
Okay.
And basically, it's going to be like a projector screen. It's going to be like, look what's going on over here. the Michael Keaton's character from Spider-Man. I can't remember his name right now.
Falcon or Vulture.
Vulture is gonna be out, and we're gonna see, and basically it's gonna be like showing that scene. He's gonna be like, "What's up, Doc?" When they saw them, and it's all gonna open up. And Venom's gonna be there for some reason. Don't have to worry about it. Carnage is already dead because that's how Venom 2 ends. Or Venom 2 ends just with Carnage, like they're fighting and a door opens up and now they're in the raft prison.
And then at some point Boba Fett shows up, right?
Right. So how this
I'm
is
waiting for Michael Keaton's Batman to be there.
Yeah.
but what's gonna happen? Listen.
He walks in the Vulture and he's closing a wardrobe that has a vaguely bat-shaped hat in it.
Follow the threads. You're going too far. You follow the threads. What's gonna happen is this is all gonna end. Spider-Man's gonna be like, "How do we close the multiverse, Strange?" And Strange be like, "I thought I told you not to come in here." And then what's gonna happen is like, "Peter, take this new black suit that I got." Everyone's gonna be like, "Venom suit?" And they're like, "No, it's just a crappy black suit with runes all over it."
Yeah.
And then he's gonna go over there, and the reason I know the black suit is because Hot Toys just leaked it, which is he has spell web, which is weird. I don't know what that means, but I'm already there. Now 10 out of 10. Loki ending got 10 out of 10.
I have a simpler premise for you.
I don't care.
Doctor Strange is trying to teach Peter how to do the magic, and Peter screws it up.
And then he
opens up multiverse stuff.
He screws it up, and then he finds a way to put it into his suit and turn it into magic.
You're like the
web.
restaurant lady from Dude, Where's My Car?
It's the only way.
And then
it's the only way that the Hot Toys thing makes sense, and why he has blue magic web with magic. Those things, those discs on Stephen Strange's hands,
Ryan,
those are on the web.
Okay, here's the problem. We've excited him enough, but we've excited him too much.
It's there. It's there.
Stop.
I saw the Lego
Slow down.
sets.
Pump the brakes.
I saw it all.
So
Ryan, they could mess it up.
I don't think they can for me.
Great. He's gone too far. I can't temper him.
we went from like, oh no, it's all gonna die to, you know what? There's no way they could do it wrong.
When Wolverine steps
God
out,
himself is writing these movies.
when Hugh Jackman Wolverine steps out of a weird portal thing, I'm gonna cry because I'll be like, oh, I know how you die. And they're like, oh wait, does that rewrite it? Does that mean Logan never happened?
What if we get X-23 instead?
I'll cry.
That'd be cool.
Older X-23,
Yeah.
I'll cry. I will bawl my eyes out the whole time.
Listen, when Hugh Jackman shows up
And
as
Superman.
Wolverine, then I'll be happy.
Yo, if the Flash movie somehow goes into the Marvelverse, that's the point when I realized Disney has a monopoly on superhero films,
Yeah.
and it's time to stop.
And keep in mind that I believe it's the Justice League have crossed over with Star Trek before.
Oh my God, please don't do this to me.
So
Don't do this to me.
also, it's cool. It's weird. Marvel is actually behind Star Trek in technology. Because Star Trek had their, time war
How did we get here?
3 centuries before Marvel Universe.
Oh, I
did.
got it. Captain Picard shows up later in the raft. And they're
Okay.
like, why are you in the raft? You're a good guy. And he's just like, I don't remember how I got here. Also, I think I have time problems. And then he's going to, what's that do?
Have the Borg shown up yet?
Yeah. So
That's all he talks. He's not helpful or anything like that. He's in the meetings.
MJ's going to get knocked out and wake up with weird technology on half her face. And then for
Oh.
some reason, everything's just going to become Star Trek for like half a minute. And then like Thanos, like child Thanos shows up with Infinity Stone, snaps his fingers, and now we're back in a new multiverse.
She has sex with the robot, but then the robot doesn't side with her, and he instead punches a vat of acid
And it turns out that robot is Cyborg from
that melts
Justice
her
League.
skin down and kills her.
And she becomes
Actual
a T
actual
1000 from Terminator.
Actual scene in a Star Trek movie, by the way. I just described it.
Yeah, and when she comes out of the vat of acid, she's the T-1000
Okay.
from Terminator. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger just shows up, but not
Ryan,
that Arnold, the one for
I
who's the
think we've
governor
gone
of California.
I think we've gone too far.
This has been Pop Culture Unboxing.
Thank you all for listening.
Basically, the MCU has now become me as a 5-year-old kid with all my toys, just banging them together. That's
Zach,
what's gonna
tell them where
happen.
they can find us.
Oh, did I launch the end of the episode?
Yes, you did.
Oh, God.
You're committed now.
Am I God?
Yeah.
I have the Marvel sweats.
It's
So
okay, Ryan.
you can find us
okay.
on anywhere podcasts are sold or listened to, such as Spotify, iTunes,
It's not
and
iTunes anymore.
and anywhere else.
Apple Podcasts, Google
Well,
Play,
Apple Podcasts. Screw
Google,
iTunes.
Google Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher, Radio FM.
You can find Matt
iHeartRadio.
at
You can find me at Matt Ross VO on Twitter or Jan Jingle on Twitch.
You can find Ryan at...
I don't know, man. Somewhere in the multiverse. That Riki Tiki 252 at Twitch and I think Twitter. I don't remember anymore.
Or Red Stick Ryan somewhere, right?
10 out of 10. Loki and Black Widow.
Zach,
10 out of 10.
Zach, where can they
Go
find you?
watch it.
You can find me at little_leaf, LIEF. That underscore is important because I'm not a middle-aged Brazilian woman. And now you can find me at little leaf, double capital L, on Twitch.
Nice.
Probably starting next week.
Go watch the MCU
Perfect.
films.
Yes.
10 out of 10.
Thank
Black
you
Widow,
for,
10 out of 10.
Thank you for listening. I love you.
Rick and Morty, 10 out of 10.
Have fun.
Bye.